All right, what's up, folks? Rich Fantassel with you, trying to get some of these recaps done from the early portion of now Week 9 of the NFL season. Most of these games are over as far as their blowouts, and no team is coming back, but there's still time on the clock, so we'll try. Hopefully, some of them will end as we do this. Jacksonville Jaguars 23-7 over the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati drops to 3-5. Jacksonville improves to 5-3. Quick note: Leonard Fournette did not play in this game. He was suspended for violation of team rules. For the Bengals, Andy Dalton, 10 of 18, 136 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Joe Mixon, top rusher, 13 carries, 31 yards, 2.4 yards per rush. He had a touchdown. The rest of the team, Andy Dalton, 3 for -1. Giovanni Bernard, 1 for -1. So 17 to 29, 1.7 yards per rush, and the 1 touchdown. Terrible running game for the Bengals. Tyler Kroft, top receiver, 2 receptions, 79 yards. Brandon LaFell, 2 for 28. Joe Mixon, 3 of 15. Sean Williams recovered a fumble. They had no sacks, no interceptions. Alex Erickson, 6 kick returns, 123 yards. No punt returns. Marshall Cohn, no field goals made or attempted. For the Jaguars, Blake Bortles, 24 of 38, 259 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Without Fournette, they ran the ball pretty pedestrian, but they did enough to get the job done. 20 for 69 for Chris Ivory, 3.5 per rush. TJ Yeldon, 11 of 41, 3.7. Blake Bortles, 5 of 20, 4 yards per rush. Corey Grant, 4 of 18, 3.5 yards per rush. So they still ran the ball 40 times in a game where Blake Bortles threw 38 times and with 3.7 yards per rush. So you can live with that. Again, you have the lead. We've discussed this many times. You can get away with being just over 3.5 yards per carry, especially if you get those yardage and run the ball 40 times. Marquise Lee, 8 receptions, 75 yards, 1 touchdown. Mercedes Lewis, 3 for 49. Keelan Cole, 3 of 47. Chris Ivory, 3 of 34. TJ Yeldon lost a fumble. 2 sacks, Malik Jackson, Calais Campbell, 2 nice additions to that defense. Corey Grant, 1 kick return, 29 yards. There were no interceptions. Jaden Mickens, 3 punt returns, 82 yards. He had a 63-yard touchdown return, average of 27.3, but of course those 63 yards bring the numbers up. Josh Lambo, 3 for 3 in his field goal. So Cincinnati disappointing in this one. They got to find the running game. Their offense, as we said, had been better of late. This was just a poor showing, but Jacksonville, hey, they have a very good defense in this game. Jalen Ramsey and A.J. Green were both ejected in this game for getting in a fight, so you lose a... I mean, Jalen Ramsey is a top-end corner, don't get me wrong, but for a team struggling with their offense, to lose A.J. Green made it real difficult for them. Boy, I was wrong about this one. New Orleans 30-10 over Tampa Bay. New Orleans is now 6-2. They've won 6 straight. Tampa Bay drops to 2-6. Ryan Fitzpatrick was the top passer. He came in for an injured Jameis Winston, 8 of 15, 68 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Jameis Winston 7 of 13, 67 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. So the quarterbacks altogether 15 of 28, 113 yards, the 1 touchdown, no interception. Peyton Barber, top rusher, 11 for 34, 3.1. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 3 of 30, 10 yards per rush. Deshaun Jackson, 1 of 8. The team altogether 25 of 87, 3.5 yards per rush. Deshaun Jackson, top receiver, 2 of 25. Peyton Barber, 2 of 20. Bernard Reedy, 1 of 15. Adam Humphries, 2 of 14. TJ Ward recovered a fumble. O.J. Howard lost a fumble. Chris Goodwin recovered a fumble. 1 sack. It was Robert Ayers. We're checking this Houston-Indianapolis game as it goes to the end. No interceptions, no kick returns, no punt returns. Patrick Murray 1 for 2 in his field goals. For the Saints, Drew Brees, 22 of 27, 263 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Very good game by him. Mark Ingram, 16 carries, 77 yards, 4.8 yards per rush. Alvin Kamara, 10 for 68, 6.8 yards per rush, 1 touchdown. Drew Brees had 4 carries for 2 yards. So I would assume some of those are the kneel down. Altogether, 32 carries, 151 yards, 4.7 yards per rush. And you have the 4 carries for 2 yards, bringing those numbers down. Alvin Kamara, top receiver, 6 receptions, 87 yards, 1 touchdown. Michael Thomas, 8 of 65. Ted Ginn Jr., 4 of 59, a touchdown. Max Unger, Chris Banjo recovered fumbles. Willie Snead, Alvin Kamara lost fumbles. Drew Brees and Ted Ginn Jr. fumbled. They were not lost. Ted Ginn Jr. recovered a fumble. 4 sacks. David Onyemata, Von Bell, Alex Okafor all had a split sack. Cameron Jordan had a split sack, but also had a full sack as well. Or maybe he got 3 split sacks. I don't know. And Hoy Kakaka had another sack. No interceptions. Tommy Lee Lewis, 1 kick return, 24 yards. Ted Ginn Jr., 2 kick returns, 21 yards. Willie Snead, 1 punt return, no yards. Ted Ginn Jr., 2 punt returns for -5 yards. Will Lutz, 1 for 2 in his field goals. Tampa Bay is really struggling right now. Their offense is just not clicking. Of course, the Jameis Winston injury plays a part in it, not being able to run the ball. They haven't really gotten Deshaun Jackson involved enough either, I don't think, since he came over. As for the Saints, their defense, of course, is really starting to hit its stride right now. Drew Brees playing very well, of course. He's quietly working himself into MVP consideration, and this is another team that's running the ball very well with 2 guys are going to be very difficult to beat, especially the longer they keep playing and the defense can continue to gel and can continue to come together. Another blowout game that I missed, the Rams hammered the Giants 51-17. Rams are now 6-2, 4-0 on the road. Giants are 1-7, 0-4 at home. Jared Goff, 14-22, 311 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he didn't really even have to do much in this game. Todd Gurley, 16 carries, 59 yards, 3.7 per rush, 2 touchdowns. Malcolm Brown, 15 of 57, 3.8 per rush. Tavon Austin, 6 of 34, 5.7 yards per rush. The team, 39 of 162, 4.2 yards per rush, which, of course, you'll take over the 4 yards. You'll take 4.2 in any game, a game that you win by 34 points and score 51, you'll certainly take it. Robert Woods, top receiver, 4 of 70, 2 touchdowns. Sammy Watkins, 1 of 67, 1 touchdown. Cooper Kupp, 3 of 54. Todd Gurley, 2 of 45. Tyler Higbee had the other touchdown. It was 8 yards. Connor Barwin, Aaron Donald, Austin Blythe, all recovered fumbles. Malcolm Brown fumbled. It was not lost. 2 sacks. Aaron Donald and Connor Barwin. Tremaine Johnson had an interception. No kick returns. Farrell Cooper, 3 punt returns, 55 yards. Greg Zuerlein, 3 for 3 in his field goals. For the Giants, Eli Manning, 20 of 36, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He came out of the game. They put Geno Smith in. He went 0 for 2. No anything. No yards, no TDs, no interceptions. Arlen Starkwa, top running back, 16 carries for 71 yards, 4.4 yards per rush. Wayne Gallman, 9 of 41, 4.6 yards per rush. Evan Ingram, top receiver, 4 of 71 touchdowns. Sterling Shepard, 5 of 70. Tavares King, 3 of 33, the other touchdown. Eli Manning and Wayne Gallman both lost fumbles. The team had no sacks, no interceptions. Shane Vereen, 2 kick returns, 51 yards, 25.5 average, longest of 30. Aldrick Rosas, 1 of 2 in his field goals. So the Rams are playing very well. I'm worried about the west to east travel. Of course, the clock's going back an hour. All those sorts of things may be affecting the Rams in this game. It did not. Todd Gurley wasn't as good as he's been most of the season, but still effective in this one. Jared Goff didn't have to do much. So again, this is one of those games where you don't know exactly where the Rams are at. We know they're a good team. They dropped 51 points. I don't mean to throw shade on them for anything, but the Giants were terrible in this game. You saw their defense. There was miscommunication. They were dropping passes, all sorts of things, fumbles. So you don't know if the Rams, completely blew the Giants out because the Giants were just terrible, or if the Rams really came out with a lot of force. I think it was mostly a combination of both. As for the Giants, you actually found your running game. You've been finding your running game, but you don't really have any receiver help, and this defense has really let them down at times this season. Tennessee, 23-20 over the Baltimore Ravens. Tennessee is now 5-3. Baltimore drops to 4-5. Joe Flacco, 34 of 52, 261 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The punter, Sam Koch, threw a pass on a fake punt. He completed it for 16 yards. Alex Collins, 13 carries, 43 yards, 3.3 yards per rush. Javoris Allen, 7 of 21, 3 yards per rush. The team, 22 of 73, 3.3 yards per rush. Jeremy Maclin, top receiver, 8 catches, 98 yards. Javoris Allen, 7 of 44. Benjamin Watson, 7 of 41. Max Williams, 3 of 29. Mike Wallace, 4 of 19. He had the other touchdown. Joe Flacco fumbled and recovered a fumble. The team had 3 sacks. Matthew Judon had 1. C.J. Mosley and Carl Davis split a sack. Terrell Suggs did have another one. Eric Weddle had an interception. He returned to 22 yards. Bobby Rainey Jr., 1 kick return, 22 yards. Justin Tucker, 2 for 2 in his field goals. For the Titans, Marcus Mariota 19-28, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Derrick Henry 8 carries, 26 yards, 3.3 per rush. Adoree Jackson, the cornerback, actually carried the ball for a 20-yard run in this game. DeMarco Murray 9 of 19, Marcus Mariota 3 of 6. The team 21 of 71, 3.4 yards per rush, which isn't very good. They're a better running team than that. And you take off the Adoree Jackson run, that would be 20 carries for 51 yards. Brings the numbers down a lot more. Delaney Walker, top receiver, 5 of 71. Rishard Matthews, 4 of 70. 1 touchdown. Corey Davis, 2 of 28. The rookie coming back. Got to get him involved. Eric Decker, 3 for 21. He had the other touchdown. No fumbles, 2 sacks. Carl Klug and Derek Morgan split a sack. Jarrell Casey had the other. Kevin Byard had 2 interceptions, returned both of them for a combined 33 yards. Adoree Jackson, 1 kick return, 4 yards, and 2 punt returns for 22 yards. Ryan Suckup, 1 for 1 in his field goals. So look, the Baltimore Ravens threw the ball a ton in this game. You're usually not going to be met with much success when they let Joe Flacco drop back as much as he does. He turned the ball over as you would expect when he throws the ball that much. So that's certainly a situation that is going to have to be remedied by the Baltimore Ravens because the season, hey, you're 9 games in. You don't have much time to fool around anymore if it's not too late already. For the Titans, look, they came out. They tried to establish the pass downfield early. I thought that was good. They got Rishard Matthews involved in the game. Corey Davis coming back. They've got to be able to run the ball better, but I don't necessarily worry about the running game. They've proven it. Sometimes you just have the games where it's not happening, but certainly getting the receivers involved is going to be big for the Tennessee Titans moving forward. All right, in just a little bit, we'll finish up with the early games, and then, of course, later on, give you the 4 o'clock games and the recaps for those when they go final. Be sure to stay tuned, and remember, we appreciate all subscriptions as well. Thank you.